Hey guys, welcome back. Today I'm going to show you this very simple natural makeup look. Are you ready to get ready with me? Let's go. First, I'm using the Tula Rose Glowing Get It Eye Balm. I love this stuff. It has become such a staple in my routine. I always prep with this step. It's glowy, it depuffs, it adds moisture, all those just really good things. And here I'm just patting it in just lightly everywhere. I mean, it really goes right in. It's super thin, but I'm just, patting a little bit into my skin. Next, I'm using the Becca Under Eye Corrector. I love this too. This has been a staple for at least 2 years. It's just a great corrector to correct and brighten those little dark tones. I don't have dark circles, but just that little bit of darkness that everyone has in the corner of their eyes, and this just makes you feel like, or look like rather, you got a lot of sleep. Okay, next I am using Urban Decay's Naked Skin One and Done. It's just a great all around, it's pretty much like a tinted moisturizer. It's got very light coverage. It has a primer built in, so it's very smoothing, and it's just very easy and simple to use. It's a little bit on the thicker side, so it's not super liquidy, but blended it in with my damp beauty blender. It's fine. You can use your fingers. I do that too. I would say you probably get a tiny bit more coverage using your fingers than the beauty blender, but I just love using a damp beauty blender. That's just my preference. Plus, then I have to go wash my hands because it's got that SPF in it, and it really sticks to your fingers. No big deal though. You can just do it whatever way you like if you use this. I'm just adding a little more on my cheeks. I definitely have those natural rosy cheeks. Alright, next is my Tarte Shape Tape for concealer. I'm going to conceal under my eyes and around my nose, chin, and highlight. I love this stuff. I think it's a myth that it's just super drying. I have mature skin, and I feel like as long as I'm well moisturized, all my prep steps, my skincare, all that good stuff, and my sprays after everything that I do, I don't find it drying for me. And make sure if you do use the Shape Tape, you need to be using a damp sponge, not necessarily a beauty blender. It's my favorite, but you can use whatever you want. It just needs to be wet. I did find that out recently listening to a Tarte, the Tarte team or whatever, talk about it, that it's something that it activates, or it works with the water and their formula. So I never do it with a brush, just a damp sponge. Okay, next is my Shape Tape Glow Wand in a light. I love this. It is an absolute new favorite. It is definitely going to be a staple over and over. It's just a liquid highlighter, but it's very moisturizing. There, see, another moisturizing step under my eyes. But it's not too glowy if you put it under your eyes. It's just very brightening. It's a highlight, and I just love it. It's just very, it's sheer, but it does have some coverage to it. So I just love it. And of course, I blend it in with my damp beauty blender, and it's just perfect. What can I say? Okay, next I'm going to set my under eyes with the Laura Mercier Secret Brightening Powder. I love this stuff. It's very finely milled and it's brightening, and I don't find it to be very drying under the eyes. Granted, I always prep with lots of moisture and then I finish with moisture, you know, with sprays and stuff, so I pretty much battle against that. Next, I'm going to use the Laura Mercier Loose Translucent Setting Powder just to set everything a little bit. I don't have super oily skin. I have pretty much normal skin with my T-zone, you know, tends to get a little oily, especially on very hot days here in New Orleans, but I'm a setting girl. Not everybody is. Some people don't like to set at all, but it makes my makeup last. Next, I'm going to use the Hoola Light, and it's very light, but because I have a light complexion, it does show up on me, especially, you know, in the fall and the winter when I don't want a super bronzy look. Although sometimes I go for it even in the winter because I don't fake tan, and I don't really go in the sun. It's the perfect amount. You can see here it does add some color, so it's perfect for a little bit of contouring and a little bit of bronzing. Okay, next is blush. I'm going to use Benefit's Rockateur. It's one of my old favorites. I love it. It's just a nice rosy cheek flushed color that has a little bit of sheen to it. So you could kind of use this as an all-in-one highlight too, because it does have some of those highlighting qualities to it. And I brush a little just all around on my nose, my forehead, my chin, and lots on the apples of my cheeks because I am a super duper blush girl. You don't have to. You can put whatever amount you want, but that's just what I like. I just think it's youthful because I'm trying to stay young, guys. Okay, next I'm going to put some finishing powder on, which is that center color in my Too Faced Born This Way Turn Up the Light palette. I love it. This is just like an ethereal setting powder that has a little bit of glow, but not too much, although I like to glow from the heavens. So now I'm using a mixture of the two end shades to do my actual highlighting. So I'm putting that on the top of my cheekbones, the apples of my cheeks too, above my brow bone, nose, above the lip, on the little cupid's bow, and then the chin. Okay, next I'm gonna take that same bronzer, the Hoola Light, and just with a big fluffy eye brush, I'm gonna sweep it through my crease, a little on the eyelid, just to add a little bit of natural color. I'm not doing some big eyeshadow look at all, just enough to add a little bit of color back and a tiny bit of depth and definition. I'm sweeping it under my lash line. I pinch my brush to make it a little skinnier. It's just a good trick. And then just sweeping it under my eyes there. Now, since that bronzer was kind of, you know, on the light side, I took my Too Faced Natural Face Palette and I'm just taking the bronzer in there. That is, the couple in there are a little deeper. So I'm just using a mixture of those and adding a little bit of that also. Okay, now I'm taking my crease brush and just taking those same two bronzers and going just in my crease to deepen it a tiny bit since the other bronzer was so light. Okay, I'm going to go back to my highlight palette and use some of the highlighter to put in the corner of my eyes to brighten and highlight and open them up. And now I'm going to take some and put it on my eyelids just to make them pop a little bit. And next I'm going to take a little bit and highlight under my brow bone. Now we're going to do some very simple brows. I am using the Benefit Give Me Brow, and I really like this for days that I just want one step for my brows. So I just brush it in, and it does have some good pigment to it, so I kind of use it like a pencil too. You know, the way I put it in. You just have to be careful because they do have a lot of pigment to these. So once you get used to using them though, they're really nice. It's just like a one-stop shop, and it's got some holding power too. So I love it. Okay, since I'm taking a hot minute on these brows, I figured I would just tell y'all I will have all the products listed below in the description box that I used here today. And I think it's just a great, simple, natural look that anybody can achieve, even if you're a beginner. It's pretty easy, and I think it's great for maybe an office look, an everyday look, or just even if you just don't like to wear a lot of makeup but you want to still look put together and polished. I think it's great. Next, I'm going to prime my eyelashes with the Grande Lash Primer. It's got a little bit of the serum in it because I don't use a lash serum, but I think this is helping my lashes get a little, you know, just longer and better. I've been using it for a couple of weeks now, and I am loving it. And it also is just a great primer, you know, for your mascara to grab onto. So I think it's a new favorite. Okay, now I'm going to use my It Cosmetics Superhero Mascara. This is another staple. I just really like it. There's several mascaras that I like, and sometimes I like to mix. But this one I've just been using really on its own for months now. And it's very volumizing and thickening and lengthening. And so I just put a couple of coats, and it's great. Okay, if I forgot to put my setting spray on before mascara, so this is a great trick. I spray it on my beauty blender, and then I just pat it all around. It's a great trick. I do this anyway too sometimes as an extra step, especially if I use my Urban Decay All Nighter spray first, and then I use this one second, because this one has a little glow to it. I love it. It's just great. Another staple. Okay, then I'm going to take my beloved Marc Jacobs gloss in Sugar Sugar, and then that is going to finish off this look. Alright guys, we are finished. Thank you so much for joining me. I hope that you learned something today, and I will see you next time. Bye!